Hello? Is it working now? I don't know if my mic just doesn't work or if OBS is not showing the audio levels a little bit, but it seems to be working now. So welcome back to the stream, everybody. Happy Monday to you. So before we get into what we're working on today, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for purchase. It's my first commercial release as a full-time indie dev, and it's 50% off still. So if you are interested in 2D roguelite shooters and you want to support me, definitely consider picking that up and leave a review if you play it. I would very much appreciate that. Also, I've got my Udemy courses. This is the Survivor style course. This one has thousands of reviews, thousands of ratings. People seem to enjoy it. So this is another great way to support me, and it's a great way to kickstart your Godot learning journey. I also just this morning submitted for review the new online cooperative multiplayer course that I've been working on. So it'll probably take a couple of business days for that to be approved, assuming that I don't have to go back and forth with Udemy about something. So yeah, once that gets approved, that will be available too. So again, great way to support me. All the links are in the description below for these things, and yeah, your support is greatly appreciated. And it looks like I don't even have Godot open. What am I doing? What am I doing? So while this is getting loaded up, I will say hello to everyone. Hello, Edo Makes Games. Welcome back. A little bit scatterbrained this morning, I guess. Hello, Kinyaz. Welcome back. Welcome, welcome. Prince Raj. Yeah, course should be out within the next probably 3 to 4 days, if I had to guess. So by the end of this week, here's hoping anyway. Hello, Schlurgy, welcome back. Any Key, good to see you. Crazy Golden Apple, welcome, welcome. Cool Modder Jaden. Solo Leveling. And, yeah, okay, it's all okay. Hello, Ali, welcome. Welcome back, everybody. So, I don't really know what to do on this stream, to be honest. I was experimenting with some things, which maybe we can talk about. But I do want to fix this bug where if you get multiple poison vials, the player gets auto-killed, because what it does is it calculates it. So the poison vial will start you off at every combat with 25% health. But the problem is if you have 2 or more poison vials, the way that the calculation works is that it takes 75% of your total health and deals that amount of damage. And so as soon as you have 1 more poison vial, it does 150% damage to you, which means that you die, right? So I need some way of tracking how many artifacts actually exist and making like unique artifact effects, meaning that there's an effect that can only happen once per artifact that you have. And so that the player doesn't get auto-killed. The other thing I could do is I could make it do 25% each time, right? So I could say, well, if you do 25% of 100, that could be 25 health, and then I could do 25% of that as well, which could be, you know, whatever it is, 6 health, something like that, 6.2 something. Anyway, so that is an option. I probably won't do that though, because then once you have like 3 vials, you just be stuck at 1 health, which might be okay, but I think it'll be fine just to fix it at, you know, the 25 health in that example. I also have been experimenting with, if I look at my resurrection container, trying to make the clickable elements more obvious how they're clickable. And I actually added this little particle effect here. So I wonder what you guys think of this. So there's been some feedback from the viewers, from people like you, like this is PPS or something, that sometimes it's hard to tell which elements are clickable. And so adding a little sparkle to the clickable elements might fix that. I don't know if that's going to go. I might need a different effect, but what do we think about that? If anyone has any opinions on that. Assuming your Godot roguelike course could also be ported to interpreted to C#. Yeah, it's very easy to translate GDScript to C# if you know a little bit about what you're doing, I guess. So yeah. Hello, Clark. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely interrupt them as well. So do we have any thoughts? Do we have any thoughts about the sparkle? Anyone? Good morning, Emerson. Welcome back. Well, if there are no thoughts about the sparkle, then I will keep thinking about it. Sparkle is good, but I feel like it's missing something. I mean, I could also experiment with doing like a shine shader where it like sheens across, but that would be kind of complicated with a lot of the material stuff I'm doing already. Safest for indicating interaction would be an outline. Sparkle seems not obvious. Well, there is an outline when you hover over it. I don't know if I want to do an outline when it's not hovered, because that might look weird. Can't think of what should be added, yeah. Maybe you can make clickable elements more saturated than non-clickable ones. I cannot do that because I have a limited color palette. I have 8 colors, and my rule is that every pixel on the screen can never be anything but one of those 8 colors. Now that said, I could just change the color of it, but the problem is I'd have to go and redraw a bunch of stuff. Like I could use the lighter colors in the color palette for the clickable elements. But yeah, that might break things. My brain is mush, I need coffee. I'd say the sparkle is a nice indicator, would certainly make me want to click it. Could maybe sort of pulse the outline once in a while. Oh, that could work. I'd make it wiggle some sort of movement. Pulse the outline shader once or twice. I wonder if I could do like a radial outline where it like does a line around it, you know what I mean? So like it snakes around the outline. The problem is I think that's going to conflict with a bunch of other shaders that I need to apply, but maybe not. Maybe we'll try that. I might try that. That might be the thing to do on this stream. Periodic scale and shake. Yeah, scale could work, although that might look awkward. Perhaps some animated rays in the background. Yeah, that might work. Do like the enchanted effect, but bright. I see. How long have you been working on your current project? Hello, vegetables. Couple months now, maybe 3 months, 4 months. But 2 of those months have been me mostly focused on the Udemy course, so progress has been slow, but now we're going to ramp it up. Now we're really going to ramp it up. Hello, Junba. Thank you. And welcome to you as well. It is good if it only appears on clickable elements. Yeah, the idea is that I just need some way of distinguishing the clickable elements. So yeah, maybe I could do like a radial thing. Yeah, I have an idea. Which might work. So we'll do that in a second, but first I want to address this poison vial thing. Oops. What did I call it? Oh, here. So on combat started, this is the problem here. So this artifact manager calls on combat started. Why is this a wait when all? I guess I'll just keep that in place. But I basically need to keep track of how many times a certain artifact has been executed. So let's do this. Maybe I'll just do int execution count. If execution count is greater than 1, or no, greater than 0, return task.completed task. Base artifact on combat started int execution count. And we're going to need to do this in a more traditional way. So var execution, let's do ID to execution count, new dictionary string int. We'll do that in there. We're going to have to convert this to a standard for loop. So I'm just going to have the AI do this. Convert this line to a standard for loop. Except that works. Artifact context, ID to execution count, and then we're going to need to do ID to execution count artifact ID plus 1. So let's extract this. Okay, that ought to fix it. So I can just very quickly test this. I don't know where to do this. I don't know where to do this, man. Let's just do it in here. This.get artifact manager dot add artifact, artifact registry dot from ID, artifact ID dot poison heal. Duplicate that line, and let's go into the game and see. Particles in the background, but Radial could work. Yeah, I'm gonna try something. I have an idea. Let's see. I don't know how to exactly explain it, but we're gonna try it. So let's just start the combat in here. Yeah, so that doesn't kill me now. But now I should still get the benefit of the poison damage healing because I'm not, the heal is happening on damage dealt here. So I'm still gonna get double the healing because I have 2 of those artifacts, but it's just not going to damage me more than once. So that was a pretty quick, easy fix there. Oh, it looks like I died. Let's just give this a shot. Boom. Okay, that was easy. Add ability to track. Let's get rid of this. Track combat started. Count in artifact. Boom, boom. Also just curious, is 2 hours your preferred stream length or just what works in your schedule? Longer streams would be cool. Yeah, I think 2 hours is about, it's about where I start to get tired / hungry and I need a break. But I'll probably do, I might experiment with doing longer streams in the future. What I want to do when the GMTK Jam arrives at the end of this month is I want to do like quasi marathon streams. Maybe do like, I mean, maybe marathon's the wrong word, but I'm thinking 4 to 6 hour streams. I think that could be fun. So you'll at least be able to watch a good chunk of the game or the, yeah, game jam development. Could you just use the player's current health? Not sure how your health tracking system works, but I'm assuming you have a max HP and a current HP. Yeah, that's what I was saying before at the beginning of the stream is I could do 25% and then 25% of that and then 25% of that. But I'm just gonna start with fixing it at 25% and then we'll see. 24-hour stream when, yeah. The crunch stream, seriously, yeah. Okay, so let's try this. So let's do a new material, new shader material. Well, this needs to be an outline shader, so let's quick load outline. But we're gonna make this unique, recursive. Save file as shader outline radial. Okay, I'm going to, I don't even know how to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed this into my AI and tell it to do what I would need it to do. Here. This is a GD Godot shading language shader. Modify this outline shader to have a progress uniform that exists in the range 0 to 1. Make the outline appear in a short segment radially around the object clockwise according to the progress value. What does unique recursive do? So unique recursive just takes all the sub resources that might be a part of that resource and just makes everything unique under that. So because when you have sub resources, you still have the problem of resources being shared by reference. So you can't just make the parent resource unique because that's a separate resource than whatever sub resources it might be referencing. So if you want the whole thing to break the shared references, then you want to use make unique recursive. I see that you mix 2D nodes with the UI nodes. From what I understand, it is for detecting click and hover without using raycast. Yeah, just doing input handling with control nodes, especially with respect to mouse events, is a lot easier than trying to use like the physics system, the area entered and whatnot. So I just use those for my clickable areas, basically. No, I don't want this, but that's okay. Let's see what it does. So I'll add this uniform float progress in there. This is probably not going to work the way that I want it to, but reload. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, that's close, but I only want a single short segment to go around the edges of the texture. Segment fraction. I don't know what the AI is doing, so I'm just gonna copy and paste until it works. Is angle, well, can I actually apply this? Yeah, apply those changes, please. Okay. Reload. Did it break? What happened? What? What happened? Parameter version is null. What? Parameter version is null? Okay, let's restart. Hello, Turbo Shook. Welcome back. Snupbill, thank you for the IDR 10,000. It's very generous as always. Very much appreciate that. Always good to have you here, and we all love the message, Yummers. Look at the love that the Yummers is getting in the chat here. Yummers, Yummers. Thank you again, Snupbill. That's very generous. Always good to have you here. It's still erroring. Shader compilation failed. Redefinition of progress. Oh. What? How did I what? Something's broken. Redefinition of progress. Oh, here? I think I know what's going on. I don't know, man. Arg. Progress. Why is that passing in? Redefinition. Okay, arg segment fraction. Why is it doing that? Why is it passing those things in? Sometimes chat jeepers T is just a little bit weird. Ooh. There we go. Okay. Almost there. Great. Now, one final tweak. Make the segment fraction lerp to its full value shortly after progress moves away from 0. Do the same and shrink the segment fraction as progress moves to 1. Ideally, the segment grows from 0 to 0.1 0.1 progress value and shrinks from 0.9 to 1.0 progress. Dynamically adjusting segment fraction, blah, 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 blah. Keep. Reload. Am I gonna get an error here? Oh, it didn't work. It broke. Why did it break? Why did that break? Maybe it'd be easier to read in here with the syntax highlighting. That appears not to work. The outline is always present now. First time here, bought your course on Udemy. Thank you, Lucas. Appreciate that. Thank you, and welcome to the stream. Great to have you here. Hello, Chris. Welcome back. Always good to have you. Kelso, the stream is going well. How are you doing? Nice UI for Godot. Seems very clean. Yeah, it's a minimalist theme. I don't know what the AI is doing. I'm just gonna keep clicking apply like a dumb ape until it gets working. Nope. Oh, wait. Did it work now? Oh, I probably do want the width to just be 1. Ooh, there we go. See? Dumb Ape is not so dumb anymore, is he? Yep. Okay, so that's working great now. So I'm going to save this material as, let's call this outline radial save. So now I can get rid of that. Now I can make this a part of my clickable control here. This may break some things, but I'm not sure. Let's give it a shot. Okay. Public static shader material. No, not public. Private static, private read-only static shader material. Outline radial material. It's equal to gd.load shader material. And we are going to paste in the UID of that radial material. Copy UID. Okay. So on outline. So I need a couple of things in here. Well, let's just see if it looks good first, because I'm gonna need a tween for this as well. So let's do private tween radial outline tween. Yeah, I think it's turning out good. That looks pretty good. Yeah. See? This is where AI can be really helpful. It's not writing the code for me necessarily, like in terms of the architecture of the game, but when it's like a very hyper-specific piece of knowledge that I know what I want, but I don't know how to do it, that's where the AI can come in handy. Yeah, it's looking good. Are you okay with AI? It's just a mirror with you. Yeah, so I think, so I'm doing a software engineering as a part-time job, like 10 hours a week right now. But I have a bunch of software engineer colleagues and friends who have been in that world for many years now. And they're all universally adopting AI. The problem, though, where AI gets into trouble, specifically with programming, is that if you use AI to do the quote-unquote vibe coding, you end up with a code base that has no intentionality behind it. And so it's hard. It actually becomes harder to work on a code base that's been vibe coded, because there's no intentionality behind it. There's no direction to the code. And that creates just a nonsensical mishmash of just a bunch of different functions. And they might be functions that are written very well, but at the end of the day, like, a software is more than just the functions that go into it. There has to be a human understandable intention behind everything. And so the software engineers, the senior software engineers that I know who are using AI, what they do is they feed in all the requirements from their systems, and they provide like a couple of paragraphs of description of what they want. And then they let the AI take a first pass at doing like a 500-line change. And then what they'll do is they'll, in a very guided fashion, direct the AI to make certain changes, or they'll manually go in and tweak the things themselves. But generally speaking, what the engineer is doing is making sure that the feature is being developed as that engineer would have developed it without AI. So it's really just being used as like a way to just get your code written a lot faster, because writing 500 lines of code, depending on what you're working on, could be several days of effort if the system is complex enough. But if you do like the AI directed coding, you can get a first pass at that feature done in a couple of hours. So it radically speeds up development, but you still need to know what you're doing. In this case, I know what I'm doing in the case of like, I know what effect I want. I just don't know how to write the shader code. So I'm making sure that the AI is like staying very bounded to like this very narrow application. And I think that's the way to get the most value out of it from a programming perspective. So yeah. Anyway, that's a long spiel, but that's my assessment on how it's currently going. Vibe coder, yeah. Hello, Rookie Tookie. Welcome, welcome. Is there any specific reason you see Sharp instead of GDScript? Just personal preference, Thomas. Welcome back, or welcome. AI is great for black boxes. Beyond that, I have found starkly diminishing returns. Yeah. Need to explain it very well and say AI so I can understand, or else make your work messy. Yep. I would suggest use DeepSeek R1, which is best AI for coding. I have always pasting some prompt to multiple AIs and analyzed for 6 months, and R1 always comes out on top, although it's a little slow. I have colleagues that are using Claude Code, I think, which is also a very good one. My experience, AI is a pretty big accelerator for seniors, but I've noticed the juniors on my team struggle to use it with purpose. Yeah, I think that is a very succinct way of describing exactly what I just spent 5 minutes explaining. So yeah, that's a great point. How is you? I'm doing good. Playing Balatro? Excellent. Balatro is fun. I had a good amount of fun with that game. It's really good if you can write the prompt well. Yeah. Hello, Lincoln Pepper. Welcome back. I've been using AI as a project manager that generates roadmaps and phased development sections. I describe in detail what I want to build, and it helps determine in what order to build. Yeah, that's great too. Actually, that's another point. So I know some engineers that will use it multi-step like that. Well, they will say, here's all the business requirements, come up with an implementation plan, and then they'll tweak the implementation plan that the AI spits out. And then what they'll do is they'll feed that implementation plan back into the AI for the code writing portion. So it's kind of weird, but it's cool. You will not write create me an RPG with every good thing, right? Hello, Cass. Hello, for Nefer. Welcome. Good to have you here. So yeah, we need to get this working now. So I'm gonna need, I'm gonna create some new signals in here, I think. I'm gonna create some new signals. This is just gonna be easier, I think. Signal, delegate, void input, enabled event handler, signal public delegate void input disabled event handler. If mouse input locks, then we're going to do emit signal input enabled. Oh wait, actually let's just do this. Okay, so I'm actually going to connect to these things in myself here. Private void on input enabled. And then if not contains mouse, private bool start clickable tween. Why did I put a bool there? I don't know where my brain is at sometimes. Private void stop clickable tween. Clickable, we're just gonna do, what did I call this? Radial outline tween. I'm just gonna call this clickable tween. Clickable tween dot kill if valid. And what we're also going to do is we're going to say if is instance valid outline target. Then we're going to say outline target dot material is equal to null. We'll do another clickable tween kill if valid, just in case. Clickable tween equals create tween. Clickable tween dot tween property. Private static read-only string. Shader progress. It's equal to shader parameter slash progress. Where was I at? Oh, clickable tween property, outline target. So we need to do this actually. Outline target dot material is equal to outline radial material. Outline target dot material shader progress to 1 over 0.75. And we could probably give this set ease type dot in, set transition. Let's do cubic, and then we'll do clickable tween dot tween interval. Let's do 1 second interval, and then let's set this to loop. Clickable tween dot set loops. Okay. So we got start clickable tween and stop clickable tween. If contains mouse return. Private void. Stop clickable tween. Okay, so now when I mouse exited here, this is going to be a little bit weird, but start clickable tween in there. Okay, I don't know if that's going to work, but let's see. Let's see if it works. Just got here and I don't have any convo context, but AI is great if you have very low bar for what's good enough. Yeah, that can be true too. It appears that my tween is not working. Let's do launch scene. This is the resurrection container. Show in file system. Resurrection container. Okay. Try that. There's a secret how to operate AI, but you need to see it for yourself. It's a hidden code. Yeah, machine always have a secret. Good morning, Instakill Ann. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Hello, Carto. Great to have you here again. Lukey, welcome, welcome. Today is a brown day. Just got layoff. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Instakill Ann. But I wish you luck in finding another job. Yeah, that always sucks. Yeah, boo. Welcome back, Adam. And also welcome, I Cook Me. Start clickable tween, so that's working. We'll step into that. Material, that's working. Clickable tween kill if valid. Create tween. Set loops. wonder why that's not working. I can go to my remote scene tree. Oh, I can't do that from debug mode. So let's try looking at the remote scene tree then. I'm just gonna confirm that that material is on there still. Yeah, it's got that there. Wonder why the progress isn't working. Why isn't that working? Why isn't that working? Oh boy, this is going to be a little bit difficult to figure out, I suppose. What the heck, man? Oh, there it goes. Why is it working now? Oh, I'm never restarting. Oh, it was starting at 1, and the tween is never resetting the value. Right. So this needs to be dot from 0. That should work. Okay, that's working pretty good. Let's just tweak some things here. Let's give it a shorter delay, or a longer delay rather. And we're gonna make it a longer effect as well. Might not even need the sparkles now. Yeah, I don't even know if I need the sparkles. Let's just hide those. That was more of an experiment anyway. Need some advices. How can I start to organize my board or Trello, for example, to start working on a small mobile game? Never do that, and I did my research already, asking ChatGPT and still confused. It's not, you know, it doesn't have to be that complicated. Basically, I would just start with 3 lanes for your Trello board or your Kanban board or whatever. You have your backlog, you have your in progress, and you have your done. So those are the 3 that I would start with. Just load up a bunch of items in your backlog that need to be done and try to make them like small-ish tasks that have a very clear like end goal. And then you just move over the one that you're working on into in progress. You work on that until it's done, and then you move it over to done when you're done. And then of course you'll want to organize your backlog probably in order of priority. So you take all the tasks that you need to do, you order them in terms of how they should be done in order. And that's what I would start with. And then you can make it more complicated as you get comfortable with it. But yeah, that's really all you need to start with. I liked the sparkles. I'm sorry, Tom will always be. Maybe they'll come back. You like that, Adam? I think it looks good. I think that very clearly indicates. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reverse the delay here. Put the interval first, because otherwise the effect plays as soon as my mouse leaves. Oh yeah, that looks great. And if I click this and it becomes disabled, it shouldn't play anymore. Oh, it's still playing. Son of a bee. Why is that happening? Oh, is it still clickable? Wait a minute. Maybe I'm just thinking about this wrong. Oh, it is still clickable. Right, okay. It's not actually been disabled yet. So I can fix that. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Okay, so now when it gets the 2 sacrifices that it needs, it should be not clickable anymore, and I shouldn't see that effect. What the heck? So it's still not working. Oh, the is mouse exited. Oh, it's returning early here, so this is not even going to work. Oh. I guess I'll just do it in here. I think that's more appropriate. Hello, Marcos. Also, what effect when this not hovering? This is to indicate clickable elements. Oh, now it's not going to work. This is to indicate clickable elements. Mouse input enabled. Let me think. Mouse exited. Maybe I'll just do this here. I'll just make that consistent, maybe. Oh shoot, this is still bounded by the contains mouse. Okay, so I actually can't do that here either. This is getting too complex. Maybe I'll just go back to what I had. I'll go back to what I had and I won't do early returns. These need to be handled differently because of the way this is happening. So you'll notice that this mouse input locks gets set after the on mouse exited here, but it gets set before the on mouse entered here. And that's just to get the ordering of the order of operations correct. I think what I can do is probably just remove this return though. So what I'm going to get is potentially a redundant setting of the mouse input locks here, but I think that's okay. That's okay. Is that a shader? Yeah. I'm so tired of fixing bugs all week and not working on anything else. Yeah, those moments do happen for sure. What's going on now? Oh, there we go. So now it seems to be just starting with an incorrect value. Oh, did I change? No, that's still 0. Yeah, I don't really know what happened. Okay, is that working now? So now the question is this going to work everywhere else where I have it? Let's try the alchemy container, because there's a clickable control in here that has a target of... Oh, it doesn't have an outline target. I think I'm gonna need to change some things. Or do I? This is the problem. Some of my scenes are inconsistent with how they're outlined, so I might end up with some problems. Also, this is a canvas group. Yeah, I might need to go and redo some things. Why is it not working here, though? Oh, maybe my test scene is wrong. Anyway, I'm going to need a canvas group version of this shader, the outline shader. Save file as canvas group outline radial. You can mix control nodes with 2D nodes like that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's very handy for managing like mouse events. So yeah. So how am I going to do this? So I need these two things. I wish I could make this window bigger. I guess I can. To some extent. Oh, goodness. Okay. We need this get dynamic segment function. We need this get angle is angle in segment. Oops. Did I do this wrong? Wait, what happened? Oh. Has contrary neighbor. I think I can just copy this here. I think that's it. So let me just try this. So this visuals node. Oh, I need to create a material for that. Oh, shoot. This needs to be moved here. And we're going to create a new canvas group. Duplicate this. Canvas group outline radial. That appears not to be working. Oh, I put the material in the wrong spot. Or I wasn't... Okay. Getting all mixed up here. Let's see. There we go. This is going to be a little bit thicker, though. Ooh. That looks kind of bad. Oh, you know what? I bet the radial... Hold on. Where is it actually determining what the center is here? Do I need to change something in here? I don't think so. What? Why is this happening? I don't know. I don't know why that's happening. Is this just... I wonder if that's just a consequence of how the sprite is. I wonder if I did this instead. So let's get rid of this material on here. This visual position root, let's see. Pot back. Pot base. Now that seems to work correctly. So there's something weird going on with the canvas group version of the shader. It's going both directions. I don't understand that. Why is that happening? Well, whatever. I will figure that out later. I will figure that out later. Could it be a visual bug in the editor? No, I don't think so. I mean, it's rendering the line thinner because of how the canvas group shader works in the editor, but that's not the problem I'm worried about. But I guess we'll just see what happens. I need to add support for that anyway, so let's go ahead and do that. Canvas group outline. Radial material. Copy UID. Outline target is canvas group, question mark, canvas group, outline radial material. I think that's all I need to do there. What do I want to do here? Play in? Do I have a play in or no? Oh, play in animation, yeah. Create some test data for this. Private void setup test. What am I doing in here? Board inventory component try place card at next available position. We will copy from the resurrection container here. Let's just do this. We'll do a spiderling. All right, time to see what happens. Any day now, thank you. It's not working. Why is it not working? It's got an empty material. Why does it have an empty material? Oh, did I not configure the outline target? Oh, I didn't configure the outline target. Oops. Clickable control, outline target here. Lots of things to configure. Always configuring. Okay, yeah, that's not working at all. Why is that not working? Shoot. I wonder if it's this center parameter here. Maybe it's the center parameter. Maybe this is just not going to work. Maybe it's not going to work. Well, I think there should be an easy way to test that. Yeah. It's based on the screen center position rather than the texture center position. Oh no. Oh no. I bet you if I made this screen like right in the center there, it would look fine. Yeah. Can you see the outline going around? So the center here, since this is a canvas group, it's using the screen UVs and stuff. So yeah, it's based on the center of the screen UV center, which isn't going to work. How do I get around that? I probably would have to pass in. Oh no. Is this not going to work? Where's the UV passed into has contrary neighbor? Neighbor. This is passed in here. UV here, and that UV is going to be the based on the screen dimensions. Yeah, I think the problem mostly is that this radial thing is based on the center of the texture, which is 0.5, 0.5, so it's using a center UV of that value. I would need to change the center in the shader, I think, to get this to work properly. Hello, MyCoonDev. Can you just try using the UV as it's passed to the fragment shader? Well, the UV as it's passed to the fragment shader is going to be, the problem with canvas groups is it uses the screen UV. So like, even though the UVs here are modified a bunch, it's still doing it based on the entire screen texture. So the problem is that, you know, if I put this on the left side of the screen here, and I do the progress, I don't know if you can see it that well. I'll change the width. So you see that if I move the screen over and I move the progress up, you can imagine a radial coming out from over here somewhere, the center of the screen. And that's why it creates that, because it's going around from this point, and it's just going around like this. And so that's why it creates a weird outline there. But if I move this such that it's like roughly in the center of the screen, and then I animate it, you can see that it goes around the way that I expect it to. So it's just because of the way that canvas groups work that are weird that makes this a problem. How about basing it off a frag chord? I don't know how to do that. Also, can I still, I mean, the problem is I need the center of the texture, but if the entire texture is the screen, I don't know how to identify a point of the screen as being the center of the actual texture that's drawn. So what I might have to do in this case is I might have to shoot. I might just have to fake it. You know what I mean? I might have to create just like a mask or something and have it outline the mask instead. I'll probably have to do that, honestly. Shoot, I'm gonna have to think about this. This is gonna be trickier than I thought. So this is kind of a no-go for now with the canvas group. So I need to figure, yeah, I gotta figure that out, because it works great when I'm not using canvas groups. But as soon as I start using the canvas group, it's yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out. That's gonna need some more brainstorming for sure. So instead, maybe we'll do something else. I'm gonna commit what I have though. Start work on clickable radial highlight. I think what I'll do for now, though, is I'll just comment this out for now. So I can put that back in later. That's unfortunate. I didn't think about the canvas group necessarily. Okay, so maybe what we'll do instead is maybe we'll add a new card or something. Maybe a new artifact. Do I have any more artifact ideas? Oh, I have lots of artifact ideas. Yeah, so we'll figure out something to do. We'll do something fun. We'll add a new artifact or a new card or something. But in the meantime, I need to take a quick 3-minute break. And when I come back, we will do that. So check out the links in the description below while I'm gone, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, that took a little bit longer than I expected, but we're good. Add bleeding effect to yourself and get blood. Ooh, that's a good one. I don't have a bleed effect yet. The problem with adding more status effects is I need to figure out how to differentiate them from the status effects that already exist. So I don't know exactly what I would do for a bleed. Maybe bleed could just be like causes you to take more damage or something. Got around my shader issue, something without a UV, by creating a mesh instance 2D with a quad mesh that was a simple rectangle set to the size of the parent, then applying the shader to the mesh. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Bleeding effect difference, you get blood. Right, but what would it do? I mean, yeah, I mean, what would it do if you applied it to an enemy, though? Wanted to make it for the stream, but couldn't. Oh, that's okay. Isborn, welcome back. Good to see you. Maybe the bleed from Elden Ring. Yeah, doesn't the bleed from Elden Ring... How does that work? I mean, when you build up, it does a huge amount of damage, right? That could work. Right? You build up bleed, and then when it hits a certain level, it explodes. So let me think about this. Enemy minions have turn cooldown increased by 1. Exhaust 1 enemy minion. Gain lifesteal, but max health goes down over time. It's more rare than poison. Bleed could be something like the character takes damage each time the character attacks. Yeah, that would work, yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. Should we do that? Should we add a bleed status effect? Maybe I shouldn't add more status effects right now. I'm trying to get the game in a playable state, but I definitely think that a bleed status effect would work. Take damage every time the board attacks or something. Or it could be like minions attack. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay, let's see here. Those are all interesting ideas. Do we want to do a new card? Maybe we'll do a card. What kind of abilities do we have? You know what I kind of want to do, which would be really funny? I want to make a card that has a really high crit chance, like 50% or something, but the raw version of the card doesn't have any abilities. You know what I mean? And the purpose of that would be that this would be a card that you alchemize with something else. You know what I mean? So it would just be a blank, empty card with a really high crit chance for the purpose of alchemizing it with something. And I think a dowsing rod would be perfect for that. So I'm actually going to do that. It's going to be kind of a weird card, but I think it's going to be great. I'm just going to give it a really high base crit chance, and then you can alchemize that to your heart's content. Assets. What? Oh, card, background. Let's make it... We don't have a lot of vertical 1x2, so we'll make it a vertical 1x2. And then we'll save this. New folder. Dowsing rod. Dowsing rod.png. Load default palette. Yes, okay. So we're gonna make this kind of like a gnarled branch, I think. It's too thick. Shoot, why is this so hard? Just needs to thin out. There we go, that's looking better, I guess. And we'll do this. It's looking a little bit thick up there, I think. think that looks okay. That looks good for the shape, I think. And then let's see if we can get some more shape in here by doing some shading. Okay. What am I doing? Okay. Not bad. Do I want to add an extra color in here somewhere? Maybe just a couple of highlight pixels. Would that work? Yeah, that'll work fine. Do I want to add an additional purple in here? I think this could work, actually. Yeah, that makes it look a little bit better. Just put like one dark pixel in like the crevices and whatnot. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, so that's looking good. One thing that I want to do is I'm kind of interested in adding like a little dangling charm or something to it. So let me think if I can easily do that. I kind of don't want to put something over here, but maybe I should. Do we like the charm on there or no? Do we like the charm or no charm? Should we just go with the raw branch? What do you think? Hey, I really want to make some games, but I have a very hard time with coding. What should I do to be able to make games like you? Yeah, unfortunately, it's just a matter of practice. You just got to start small and build up your understanding of programming. It is a very complicated thing to learn, so I think the best thing that you can do is just give yourself some patience. Try not to get frustrated too easily because it is going to be hard to learn. And yeah, start small. You know, the classic example is like start with a Pong game and see if you can get Pong to work. Generally, programming is about breaking down problems into their smallest bits and then addressing them one at a time. So if you're trying to make a game with like, let's say a top-down 2D RPG or whatever, there's a lot that goes into that, right? And it can be hard to know where to start. But just start with the stuff you know you need, right? So the first thing you know you need is character movement. So a very simple first step you can do is just try to make a little box like that you just draw up in Sprite or whatever. Try to make a little box move around with your controls, right? And get through all of the problems that present themselves when you're doing that, right? You're going to have to know, like, how do I actually get the movement input and how do I convert that into an actual translation on screen? And, you know, that alone, that small little thing of getting a character to move around is actually really hard to do if you're a beginner and you're not using any tutorial resources or you're using minimal tutorial resources. But you'd be surprised at how much you can learn about programming just from trying to accomplish that very small thing. So yeah, break down the problems, identify the smallest things that you can do first, and you're just gonna have to bang your head against the wall, so to speak, studying through that problem until you kind of get an understanding of what's going on, and then you'll start to feel a lot more comfortable. But it is going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of patience. You have to be in it for the long haul. You're not going to be able to make games like me without putting in years and years of effort. So you also have to be mentally prepared for that it's going to probably take a long time before you start to feel comfortable doing things like programming. But the only way out is through. So if you want to be able to make games, you gotta just stick through it. I just finished a game jam yesterday, my first proper Godot game. The tips and techniques from your videos proved very helpful. Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Isbjorn. I like the charm. Awesome, awesome. What I find difficult is the art more than programming. Yeah, but I would give very similar advice for the art too. And I have a pixel art video on my channel that you can watch if you're interested in more of that. You're welcome, Indie Vibes Arcade. You're welcome. Okay, I think this is a good dowsing rod. So I'm just gonna save that. And let's go ahead and add that now. So data, let's see. Card, create new resource. Card definition resource. Dowsing rod, save. Let's open that up. Got a lot of cards already. Dimensions, it's 1x2. Let's give it a relatively high turn cooldown. Tags, ritual. Critical chance, 0.5. Look at that. We're going to give it a 50% critical chance. And that's it. So now I just need to create a script for it. So scripts, data card. We'll just copy the alembic here. New file, dowsing rod. And nothing. I'm very curious to see anyone who's not watching this stream when they first play the game and they get the dowsing rod, they're going to be like, what the heck is the point of this? But that's what's cool about this game is that I have the opportunity to do things like that, where like, because of the alchemy system, I can just create a card that has no innate abilities, but a really high crit chance. And if you want, you can just throw that dowsing rod in the alchemy system and see if you get lucky enough to get it, to get that 50% chance. Okay, let's see. I'm working on my project with this in the background. Godot has been wonderful to work with. Yeah, I love Godot. Welcome, Eric, by the way. I love it. Programming was the smallest problem for me, but art was the most difficult. Yeah, I think generally if you have like an aptitude for programming, that's going to be a common story is like, yeah, the programming was easy, but... So here's the dowsing rod. It does nothing, and it has a 50% crit chance. So let's just go do a combat real quick, because I want to make sure that the dowsing rod does indeed do nothing and it doesn't break. Yep, it did nothing. That's hilarious. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, let's just do auto resolve. Also, the dowsing rod, because it does nothing and you can't, if you don't want to alchemize it, you could just use it as a sacrifice to resurrect. So it could have more than one use. Okay, so I'm going to go back up here. Now let's do the alchemy system. And let's see, I'm going to alchemize the skeleton with the dowsing rod. And let's see if I get what I want. Nope. Oh, there we go. Look at that. We've got a skeleton now with a 50% crit chance. So I can take that one. Bam. And now let's go find another, whatchamacallit. Combat, and let's just see what happens here. So I should be critting quite frequently. There's a 12 crit right there. 8. 8 again. 12 again. Nice. 12 again. Ooh, am I gonna die? No, I shouldn't die. Very cool. So right there is a clear demonstration of how to use the dowsing rod. It's funny how different people's problems are in game dev. Yeah, animations are so smooth. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get this game into a playtest state, which is probably going to take a bunch of weeks, but we're getting there. We are getting there. Will there be some boss encounters? Yes, there's a boss encounter at the end of every run. I'm probably going to do also like special encounters where maybe there will be like a mini boss on the map that you can fight if you so choose. I still have to figure out all the balancing and stuff. I'm not entirely sold on there being only 10 moves you can make. I'm not entirely sold on the map size. Maybe I'll make the map even bigger so you have a little bit more of an adventure before you fight the boss. But the general gist of this is that once you go through all 10 traversals, which are represented by these eyeballs up here, you get automatically thrust into the boss fight. So it's I'm kind of borrowing from the Bazaar, but also from Raven's Watch. So in the Bazaar, it's very like ordered, like you go through a couple of events and then you fight, and you go through a couple of events and you fight. That was the original way this game was structured, but I didn't like how that was turning out. So I changed to the map. But I still like the idea of like having a fixed number of things you can do before you get into the boss fight, because it forces you to make interesting choices in terms of like pathfinding. So in Raven's Watch, it's a real-time game, but you have like, I don't know, 15 minutes or something to clear the level and get as powerful as you can before you get automatically sucked into the boss fight. And I really like that because it does force you to make interesting choices. So in this game, you have 10 moves you can do. So you can visit 10 nodes before you get automatically thrown into the boss fight, which I can show. We'll just keep going, I guess. Just keep seeing how it goes. Giant finger. Double preserve applied if health is less than 50%. Well, I could also get this lamb bone ring. I'm going to take the ring, actually. I'm going to take the ring, put this away, put that there. Okay. Let's go get an artifact. Oh, interesting. Oh, these are being highlighted. I thought I disabled that. Did I not disable that? Oh, I didn't do it here. Oops. Oops. Let's take Ritual Candle, I guess. That was probably a bad choice. Let's enchant a card. Let's see. Enchant with Echo. Ooh, no. Let's put the critical chance on here. It's got 60% critical chance now. Yes. The skeleton's going to be beefy. Upgrade a card. I don't have any cards to upgrade. Alchemy. We can do alchemy again. Do I dare do this? No, I probably shouldn't. Oh well, let's try it. These are my only 2 cards. I'm going to lose the boss fight anyway. Look at that. I've got a skeleton now that has 60% crit chance. It retained its enchant, and it has a heal, and it has damage. Holy moly, there we go. That is a mega skeleton now. And you can do this as much as you want, by the way. There's no limit to how far the alchemy system could go. If I'm lucky, this skeleton could just have like 4 enchants and like 5 different damaging abilities, and like it could heal me for like 500 per turn if I wanted. Like, I'm not sure if it'll get that ridiculous, but the way the alchemy system works is it's just like, yeah, it just randomizes the outputs based on the inputs, and you could get just more and more powerful every time. But here's the interesting thing. I want to add a new event that is a card copy event. So you could take a really powerful alchemy card or an alchemized card and copy it exactly so you get a duplicate of it. And then what you could do is you could put it on your board so you have double the power, or you could stash that so that as you keep doing more risky or alchemical things, you have a restore point, right? So like if you end up messing up an alchemy with your really powerful card, you've got a backup card to replace it. So that's definitely something I want to do. That's the fun of roguelike games, right? That's the whole point, is like, you want to give the player ways to become really powerful. Like, you want the player to feel like they created a broken build, but I got my butt kicked by that boss anyway, so there's no way I'm going to win this. But anyway. Anyway. How are we going to balance this? That's a good question. What games have you played and what are your favorites? I don't really know if I have favorite games. I played a lot of League of Legends back in the day. I've been playing No Rest for the Wicked lately. I've enjoyed all the Souls games, you know, Sekiro and Bloodborne included. So yeah. Hello, Artem. Good evening to you as well, Niller. What font are you using for the text? I'm using Soft Square Mono Soft Square Mono, Grandeur 8H, and Voice 7H. Which I'm sure if you search these names, you can find them online. I think these are public domain fonts, if I'm not mistaken. How enchants work in the game? It's very simple. Like, you just go to the enchant thing, and then it applies the enchant to the card, and that card just permanently has whatever bonus that enchantment gives. So, unless you're asking for the technical deep dive. Ooh. Wait a minute. I have some news, everybody. Hold on a second. I have some news, everybody. Boom. My new course, Create a Complete Online Cooperative Multiplayer Game in Godot 4, has been approved by Udemy as of like 15 minutes ago. So here, I'll put the link in the chat. Oh wait, no, don't go to it yet. Hold on, I need to copy my referral code. You got to use my referral code so I get most of the sale. Sorry, let me get it real quick. Shoot. How do I do this? Uh-oh. Oh, wait, I found it. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go, everybody. Boom. Get my new Udemy course. There it is, everybody. So if you're interested, please check that out. Use the link right there. I very much appreciate that. It is out. So yeah, if you guys are interested, the course is available. As always, there's a potential that I've made a mistake with like uploading resources. Typically, it takes a couple of students to tell me like, hey, you forgot to include this resource or whatever in the lesson. So as you're going through the course, please, if you have any issues at all, use the Q&A or DM me. I'm going to be monitoring the course very closely for the next couple of weeks. So any problems that you encounter at all, let me know so I can fix those ASAP. And that could be things like, you know, the video is cut wrong, or like there's a confusing part of a video, or I forgot to upload a resource. I did as good as I can QAing my own course, but there's always going to be problems. So yeah, this is a great way to support me as always. It's brand new multiplayer course available, so there you go. Get it while it's hot, everybody. Did you see that Godot is working on a monetized asset library? I did, yeah, I did. That's very cool. I'm curious to see how people utilize that. Yeah, woohoo, yes, here we go. It's the Globins guy, yeah, it is the Globins guy. Please take my money. Please give me your money. Oh, thank you, Emerson, I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody. In Chapter 3 of your C# course, now you published a new one. Yes, indeed. This one's GD script, but you'll see it covers server authoritative architecture. It's got basic twin-stick shooter controls, develops, you know, you got UIs with the theming system, remote procedure calls, basically everything you'd expect. We create a little bit of a lobby with a ready up system in the course, handling multiplayer connections and disconnections, and all that's good stuff. And also I made a good number of the lessons previewable in their entirety. So what I would recommend to anyone is, yeah, I think I have what, maybe 10 or so lessons available for preview all throughout different sections of the course. So check out those preview videos before you buy it, see if you would like it. And 18.5 hours of video. Also, again, I included all of the downloadable code at the end of every lesson. So at the end of every lesson, I give you a snapshot of the code at the end of that lesson, so you never get lost. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just selling the course pretty hard right now. But anyway, checked out. Thank you, Artem. Appreciate that. Thank you. Hello, Nitro. Welcome. C# in the future because I don't code in GDScript. I probably won't do many more, if any, C# courses because the fact of the matter is the demand is just lower, at least right now. There are just far more people that just want to use GDScript, so I'm kind of going where the market is in terms of that. That said, you can translate it to C# relatively easily, especially if you've gone through my C# course already. So previewed, nah, hit buy, yep, thank you. Cool. Well, unfortunately, I do have to go as well. I've got a meeting starting in about 15 minutes for my part-time job. But thanks again, everyone, for checking out the course, and thank you all for being here. I'm going to commit what I have before I forget. Add a dowsing rod. The dowsing rod was very easy to do from art and programming perspective, so that's nice. But yeah, thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you all for being here, and thank you in advance to everyone who's checking out the course. Very much appreciate that. Yeah, you can use that link. Yeah, that's like a perma link with my referral code. So definitely use that referral code for me. And yeah, what else? I think that's it. Plan to do that for the RPG game after completing grid puzzle. Cool. Nifty, yes. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a good day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Okay. Bye, everyone.